Hi everyone, this is Deborah. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing some journaling, and I'm going back to my home journal. I haven't touched it for a long time. There's been many things happening in my life in the last 12 months, and one of those major things was that I lost my father last June, and I've also been incredibly sick for 6 months and lots of other medical issues that have happened. So I just thought it was time to bring out the journal again and do some journaling, particularly at this time of year. I have just had the anniversary of my mother's death, and it's been 10 years, which is so hard to believe. Really difficult for me to believe that. I suppose everyone feels like that. I'm not alone, I know that. And my father had his first birthday without him a few days ago, so he would have been 90, which would have been a great milestone, but I know how lucky I am to have him for 89 years, so I thought it was time to do journaling. Now I'm up to page 5, and this is a house that we moved into. In fact, I'm not even sure it was a house. I think it may have been a garage. We came from a garage, so I'm pretty sure this was a garage too, in Strickland Crescent in Ainslie, which I think was a house that my dad was building. I don't know. I have nobody else to ask at the moment, but now that Mum and Dad have both gone, but I will ask my big sister because she might know something about it. And I don't have any notes or anything on this one. I'm not sure why. I don't know why it's just been missed out. So I've got a little tag and I put some ink on it, and I've just written the address on there for now and added the number 5 because this is my 5th place of residence in my life. And I'm going to put this on here, and then I'm going to come back later after I've asked my sister and see if she can remember more. She probably will. And then I'll write some little notes, and I'll put a journaling spot on here so that I can write some little notes on it. I'm just going to put it over here because I'll put the journaling spot down here. So this will be number 5. I've added some seam binding to the top of the tag and put my number 5 on there. Okay, so number 6 is already done. I skipped 5, maybe because I didn't know much about it. It's probably why I skipped it when I did this. And I've got all my journaling and everything in there, and I'll put a link to all the previous videos in the description so you can go back and have a look at the previous things. So on this next page, I'm going to do what I've called a Watson intro, which is all about Watson, which is a suburb in the ACT, because I spent a lot of time moving back and forth to Watson, many years. So I'm going to put an intro in there, and I'll type something up and stick that down. And then this is number 7. So this is the when we left Watson, this picture, but this is Watson, 6 Darley Place from 63 to 67. So I've already done number 7. For the next house, which is number 8, I have gotten a couple of things out. One of them is a picture. So this is our school year, my final year of primary school this is, and this is me down here. Let's move that over so you can see it. So that one there, I haven't really changed much. It's more than 50 years ago, which is really hard to believe. I thought that this might be a good place for it. I think it's nice to include some things other than the house photos. And I want a journal because this is the farm and this is kind of where I grew up. So I've made this little journaling book out of an old tea bag box. And if you've looked at my last, previous videos, you would have seen me doing these. I will be putting some journaling in here, and my number 8, I'm just trying to think where I can put my number 8. If I put it there, it's going to come through the page. And also that's got the writing on the back, so I don't want to put it elsewhere. I want to have it so I can still flip it up and read that. Make sure I've got the 8 up the right way, because 8s have, this 8 has a top and a bottom. And let's put some information on here. there you go, and we were here from 1967. Well, I was here because I moved then because I had finished school. So after Christmas in early January 75, I went and lived in Canberra. So this is going to go here, and I will come back later and just write some little notes of things that I remember about living on the farm, which is a lot actually. The next one, number 9, I moved it back to Watson, which was my, childhood home. And Mum and Dad still owned that house, and I went back there and we rented it off them. My sister was living elsewhere, but she was living by herself, so she came and she moved in, and the two of us lived there, and we got a share house person in as well, Sue, who stayed for years and was a very lovely person. I think she was from South Australia from memory. I'm going to put number 9 up here because there's probably not going to be much to say about number 9. Oh, I suppose there is. There's the years that I lived there, which didn't turn out to be very long, let me tell you. So I'll just put that there. So now we've got number 11, and I pre-made this little thing here, and it's actually got lions on it, which is another suburb of Canberra. I should have made one that said Watson on it because I went back to Watson again, but since I didn't, I'm going to take some of this Tim Holtz tape and just put some on here to cover up the suburb name. I could go and make one like this with Watson on it, but I don't feel like doing that just at the moment, so I want to get my page done. I'm going to cover that up, and I'm going to put it up here with that number 11 on it. Now this is just his new tape. It's like the old Dymo tape. It's even raised when you run your finger across it. It's very cool. And this is when I went back to Watson because I bought the house that I used to live in when I was a kid off Mum and Dad. So that's why I said I keep going back to the same house over and over again. And I did for different reasons. So this is the last visit to it. So I'm going to put this up here. And I will rub that number 11 out. And then I'm just going to put the dates in. So I was here from 1976 to 1980. I might just get a little journaling card because I don't really like that paper very much. So I've just put my little note onto this little spot of journaling, and I'm going to let it stick over the edge. I'm fine with that. But I think I might just trim it off because it is a bit too big. So this is another one of the pre-made set of cards that I did. And you've probably seen the videos on those. This was one I did using a masterboard and just sewing the pieces together. So basically creating the pieces all sewn together on the board and then chopping it up. In this house we purchased for $25,000 for a 3-bed, 1-bath brick home. So houses were a lot cheaper in those days, going back a ways now. And I will put a piece on this side as well. Okay, so that's 11. I had already done 12. And then 13 is when we moved to Brisbane. So I will put some information on these pages here. I'll do some journaling and writing on those pages. And then this is 13. So we moved into a house at Moana Crescent in Birkdale, and I'm just seeing if I've got a blurb on there. So I was here from 1983 to 1985. I found a couple of things in my pre-made items. One's the number 6, so I'm going back to put that in here. I might stick that on there. And I also found another piece of pre-made ephemera base. So if you've been watching my channel, you probably see that I've been making a lot of pre-made bases or pre-made ephemera. So I've got a whole big box of them now, and I'm keeping them so that, and using them in things like this, because I've already made them. It means that it's quite quick then. I don't have to go off and make something. I've already got something already pre-done. I'm going to put that in for number 6 for the number of the house that we lived in. And then this is the pre-made ephemera base, so it's just another of those masterboard things that I did with leftover papers on the back of a piece of card. And I'm going to use this for number 13. Here's 13. Before I put it on there, I'm going to write something on it, which is from 1983 to 1985. That's when we lived in the house. So 1983. I want something to cover that piece there. I've done some journaling down the bottom here, and I thought one of these would be quite good. This is a strip that I've made from a coffee pod packet, and you would have seen me making that. If you haven't, go back and look at those videos. It's about using your things that you've got in around your house. So I've cut that off. I might use that in another part, and I'm just going to put this one up here, and it'll also form a bit of a tab up the top. Number 14 is already done. I did that some time ago. And number 15 is, oh, okay, so this is when I went to live back with my parents, which is probably not something, or maybe a lot of people do that. And by that time I had 2 kids in tow, and I had gone back there because my marriage broke up. So this is just going to be about their house here. And I think that I will give that a go tomorrow. I've probably done enough for today, and I will see you then. This is Deborah. Thanks for watching. Cheers.